Hey, what's up, guys? It is Thursday. Believe it or not, I didn't do any filming yesterday for this retro series. I did go out and I dropped off a couple of things, but it wasn't much at all. Today, we're dropping off quite a bit. I've got my Japanese TurboGrafx and those Japanese games in there. Sold that to a guy for 225 bucks. So I'm shipping that off to him. He just lives in Newfoundland, so he's not too far. What else do I have back there? I have a Super Nintendo with All-Stars, Link to the Past, and a couple of those Famicom games that I have. Selling that for $140, dropping that off today as well. And I got another Super Nintendo with 6 games, the best being Super Mario World and Donkey Kong. So there's all that. I'm dropping that off for 120 bucks. So, oh, and then I've got the Nintendo Switch. I've got all the Switch stuff here. I played this yesterday for 6 hours, and I'm not into Zelda. I tried. I'm not saying it's a bad game. It's just not for me. And there's no games coming out from the Nintendo Switch that warrants me holding on to it. I may as well sell it now while it's hot and impossible to get here. So I'm getting $500 for the Switch and the games, and he's also given me a stack of N64 games as well, and a couple of Nintendo games. I can show you guys that stuff when I get it. So today will be a good day. We're going to be selling, $700, $800, $900, probably about $1,000 worth of stuff. So I will keep you guys updated when I start dropping things off, and then I'll give you a tally on how much money we have recouped since the beginning of this season. Remember, we did buy those 3 big lot of games, but I'll be honest, guys, after today, we're pretty close to be breaking even, and seeing all the stuff that we get to keep for our collection, it is fucking insane. Alright, guys, I'm just waiting for the guy to come out to come grab the Switch and the 3 games. Once again, Super Bomberman sealed, Has Been Heroes sealed, and Zelda. Also got a carrying case. So just looking out for him. You see he's wearing a blue jacket. I forgot to show you guys the games that the guy gave me along with the 500 bucks. Nothing great in here. 2 Nintendo games, RC Pro AM. I already have that one. This one I don't actually have. Match Rider, so I'll add that to the collection. None of these are worth any money, I don't think. NHL Shitbox 98, Chopper Attack that I don't have, Star Wars Rogue Squadron that I don't have, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2. I don't actually have this anymore because I gave away my other copy to a good friend that wanted it. Pilot Wings, don't have that. Aero Fighters Assault, don't have that. Perfect Dark, I do have it, but I've got an extra box at home, so now I'll be able to sell this with the box. Pokemon Snap, I don't have that. And Star Wars, I don't have that. So the main reason why I wanted to do it is every N64 game here, except for Perfect Dark, I don't own. So all that will go to the collection, and we just got 2 games there. I'll probably make like 10, 15 bucks off them, so, not the best, but hey, 500 bucks plus these games. I was asking 550 for everything. He said I could do 500 in these games, so those games are definitely worth the 50 bucks. And to add those all to the collection is great too. So, and considering I traded Game Boy stuff and a couple GameCube games and stuff like that for the Switch, it all ended up working well anyhow. So everybody's happy. Morning, everybody. It is actually a nice Saturday. The sun is out. It was supposed to rain today, so I don't know how many people have already canceled their yard sale, anticipating that it was going to rain. It turned out the rain is not actually going to start until about 3 or 4 o'clock this afternoon. So it's nice out, and there are like 3 or 4 community sales. When I say community sales, I mean there's like maybe 5, maybe 6 sales happening in per community, so it's more of like a street sale. We're up in one community that's actually a community sale, but there isn't many to be seen. So we're gonna see how this goes. I'm driving around the neighborhood. I'm early, I'm a half hour early. So I'll keep you guys posted. Actually, here's the yard sale right here. All right, guys, so it is still Sunday. It's just raining now. I went to probably 12 yard sales before it started raining. It was really sunny this morning, and then the clouds came over. It was calling for rain. So even though it was sunny this morning at like between 7 and 9 a.m., a lot of people just canceled their yard sale because they figured it was going to rain, and lo and behold, it's raining. So I didn't score anything at yard sales today. There was only one place I had games, actually two. One of them I knew the girl and her husband from high school, and they only had like complete shit boxes, so I didn't even ask. I just ended up just chatting with them, see how they were doing. And then another place had a bunch of PS3 sports games. And I asked every single yard sale if they had retro, and I went through the list, and none of them had anything. So it was an absolute dud. 2 weeks in a row, really, for shitty yard sales, and it's because of the weather. There was like 4 community sales announced. I managed to go to 2 of them, and maybe probably a third of the people showed up because of the weather. And then I just left a flea market, lucked out. I brought a whole bunch of my doubles, and today I brought a big lot of PSP stuff. And I was just in the store. The reseller in there was going to buy everything, but he didn't have the cash until tomorrow. So I'm standing in the store, and I know the guys who like run the place, and people that were shopping in there, they were looking at my bin, and I didn't want to take business away from what they do. But the guy, the guy that runs the show is really cool. And he was like, yeah, man, go right ahead, because he didn't have any of the games that I had in my bucket. So I ended up selling all my PSP stuff, actually to the same guy, Kevin, that gave me his Nintendo Switch and the NES. I gave him a steal of a deal. There was like 57 PSP games and the red God of War PSP console that I got in that big lot of games. Sold everything to him for $225, an absolute steal. And the main reason why I wanted to do that for him is because he really helped me out getting that Switch. I ended up flipping the Switch for $500 plus like 12 N64 games. But the big thing was getting that NES Mini. So he's been helping me out, and it's, in this industry, it's you scratch my back, I scratch your back. And that was kind of how we went there. So I basically priced it at $3 a game and then $50 for the console. The console alone goes for like $120, $130. It had the charger and everything, and then there were some really nice titles in there. A lot of filler too, but a really solid deal. I mean, he could flip his doubles and pretty much almost make his money back, especially if he sold the PSP. So that was good. And then I sold 2 Super Nintendo games in there for $45, Donkey Kong Country 2 and Mario All-Stars. And then I sold a Famicom game for $10. It was just like a Dragon Quest 4, I think, or some Dragon Quest 3. One of them. So I made like almost $300 in there. I think there was I sold Final Fantasy 9 for $20. I had a double of that. So I made about $300 in there, which is great. And we are officially $130 away from breaking even for this season, which is insane. Because the shit that we got, all the box stuff, all the PS1 stuff, all the N64 stuff, PS2 stuff, it's all on the wall for $150 or $60. I mean, it's crazy. And then tomorrow, I'm bringing all the Famicom stuff back here, and we're going to do a trade for some NES and Super Nintendo games that I don't have. That guy's bringing it all in tomorrow. So we'll have some trades and stuff, and I'll show you guys all that. I really apologize, like, it's out of my hands. The footage today was, I'm not even going to put any footage, really. I might put, like, maybe one. But it's just been bad. Bad weather 2 weeks in a row. And it was nice pretty much all week, both weeks. And then Saturday's the day that gets rain. All right, guys, it is Sunday morning. I've been out yard sailing. Once again, another sort of shitty day. It's really cold. There was one street sale that I did go to. There were some video games. I took my glasses out, but everybody was so overpriced, and a lot of it, well, none of it was retro, like Wii U stuff, PS3, all that crap. So anyway, saw an ad on Kijiji. I got a big stack of Super Nintendo games, and a boxed Super Nintendo. The box is in rough shape. Looks like somebody chewed something. Look, a dog got at it or some shit. But anyway, I got the Super Nintendo. It's actually got 2 controllers in there, all the hookups, and the styrofoam. And all these games, I'm going to quickly show them to you. So the ad is up for 150 bucks. And I messaged him, I said, I'll do 120, I'll come out now. He said, sure. And he also had N64 stuff. So I get here down to his place in like 15 minutes. I get in the house, I look at all the stuff. He has an N64. I offer him $200 for everything. He says no, he's got interest on the Super Nintendo now for 160. And so I was like, that's fine, I'll just take the Super Nintendo stuff. And I give him the 120 that we agreed on. He was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. The ad said 150. And I said, dude, you agreed to 120 and I come out now. And he's like, I didn't get that text. So I pull out my phone, I show him the text, and then he pulls out his phone. He looks, his text shows red, and he's like, oh man, I'm sorry. He's basically just going back on his word because, you know, it's always a bidding war for this shit. So he wanted to stick to 150, and I was like, dude, like, you're gonna do me like that. I drove out here. This always happens to me on, you know, dealing with people on Craigslist and Kijiji. You know, you should have taken the ad down when we agreed to something. And he had some N64 stuff, and I was like, listen, man, I'll give you 140 bucks if you throw in a couple of N64 games. And he said, all right, I can do that. So I didn't get the N64 system. It's whatever. But here are the games. Super Mario World. Super High Impact, which I don't have. Madden 95 Shitbox. Ken Griffey Jr. Baseball. Another shitty baseball game. NCAA basketball. I'm getting all these sports shit boxes out of the way. Emmett Smith football, NHL 96. And that's, oh, NBA Jam. That's actually not a bad one. And then there was Mario Paint. Mario All-Stars. Donkey Kong Country 3. And Super Mario Kart. And also I got NFL Quarterback 2000, Ken Griffey Jr. Baseball, and 007. So for 140 bucks, not a bad deal at all. And the Super Nintendo box, although it's in rough shape, people just love having the box. So I'm heading to the flea market right now. I brought a bunch of doubles with me. I'm getting pretty much low on all my double supplies. Pretty much sold everything, guys. I'll give you an update when I leave the flea market. I'm sure I'll make a couple of bucks in there. And yeah, we're pretty close to breaking even for the entire season, which is insane. But 140 bucks, not too bad. The original agreement was 120, so basically for $20 I got 3 N64 games, which were definitely worth that, 007 and 2 other ones. So it really just balanced itself out. But man, he was coming up with every excuse in the book, and I don't blame him. Like, he wants to get as much money as he can for his stuff, and I totally agree with that. But when you agree to a deal and then you keep talking to people as I'm on my way, and you don't even have the courtesy to text me and say, listen, dude, someone just offered 150. I don't want to waste your time. You know, don't show up unless you got 150 bucks. You know, then it's okay. It's still kind of a piss off because we've agreed to 120. But dude, when I get there and I pay you, I hand you the money, and then you go, whoa, 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 whoa. I mean, that's crazy. So if I have to tell anybody out there, whenever you want to buy retro games and and the competition is fierce around where you live, you have to just jump on it. Don't pussyfoot around. Don't wait 2 hours. Don't say, can I pick it up after work? Don't say, can I go after dinner? Go out and do it right away. I'm sorry about this microphone here. Go out and do it right away. Anyway, I'm heading to the flea market. We'll see you guys soon. All right, guys, I just left the flea market. That Super Nintendo that I just showed you and all those games, it's gone. I did keep 5 of the games for my collection that I didn't own, but everything else is gone. And I also did some big trades. I traded off all my Famicom stuff and ended up getting a bunch of NES and Super Nintendo, some real gems in there, some really, really good ones, some $80, $90 games. And some complete and box games too, which I'll be showing you guys on tomorrow's video, just because this video is already getting pretty long. And I also traded a few other things. So I've got a bunch of stuff to show you. Yard sales this weekend was a dud, which is shitty, but we sold a lot of stuff and we got a bunch of games for the collection, which is great. And we're officially up money for the season by $100 and something bucks. I'll have that final tally for you guys on tomorrow's video as well. So, wow, we have officially added thousands of dollars worth of games and some really, really rare stuff for free, and some. We made money. We're up, and I don't have that much more to sell. I've probably got, I don't know, maybe $300 worth of stuff that I can sell for doubles, and then I'm out of supply. Those guys have been buying me up every week, which is great. So we'll see you guys on tomorrow's video. Peace.